France's leadership to become the world's largest motorsports sanctioning body.
The mood was rather somber here about 2 hours ago when it was announced to the crews and drivers that the founder of NASCAR had passed away. A man whose determination, charisma, and personality have built this sport we all have grown to know and love to the heights it is today is gone. But to a man, the drivers and crews are determined to go out today and put on the kind of show that would have made Big Bill proud.
Bill France was 82 years of age. And in his honor, we'd like to spend the next few moments in silence, just watching and listening to stock car racing that he and we love so much. Motorsports will miss you, but let's go racing. And Ernie Irvan leads Ricky Rudd as they head down to Ned for the first time in turn 7.
And he makes a good line into here, but Rudd coming in on the inside trying to make a pass. But Ernie Irvan might have a problem. He might have jumped Ricky Rudd on the start.
Here they come towards me. Ernie still leading. Rudd, Rusty Wallace, Darrell Walter, Bill Elliott, also Terry Labonte. Down towards turn 10. And let's see if Ernie Irvan's going to go in the pit this time. He got him.
Well, it was obvious that he was well out in front of the rest of the pack, including the pole sitter Ricky Rudd. And yes, indeed, the number 4 Kodak Film Chevrolet comes in for a pit stop. This is a stop and go for Ernie Irvan, Jerry.
Indeed, remember 35 miles per hour on pit road, and that is a killer for Ernie Irvan. He will not lose a lap, but he will lose a lot of valuable time on the racetrack as the Morgan McClure team, Tony Glover and crew, wait for Ernie Irvan to bring the car down pit road. They are trying to talk to Ernie, trying to keep him cool, saying, don't worry about it. Those things happen. They're going to put some gas in the car. When the car stops, they get the gas can in. He might as well, while you're here, you're at the tail end of the field, and now he's away, headed back to turn 1.
Yeah, the final car goes by him. He now drops in at the tail of the field. Ernie Irvan jumped the start, was black flagged, and now has to go to the end of the field. Ricky Rudd leading Rusty Wallace, and look who's up front, everybody. It's the 2 guys that we talked about as being the road racing specialist among the regular NASCAR Winston Cup competitors. Rudd in the lead in the Tide Chevrolet, and right behind him, carrying our Armor All camera, is Rusty Wallace as they once again go down that straightaway and head for turn 7.
And Rusty really drives hard into this turn. Bob trying to make up that little bit of difference that is there, but he's not able to do much with Rudd. The only car that might be in front of or behind Ernie Irvan would be Jimmy Hensley, who was stopped when the green flag dropped, but he is back out on the track and in the lead lap.
Rudd still has about that 3-car advantage. So far, Bob, everybody gets through the entrance at turn 9. No problem.
And let's get an explanation of what the problem was on Jimmy Hensley's number 61 from John Kernan.
Bob, a very unfortunate happening. As they came around on the first pace lap, Hensley's engine shut off. It acted like it wasn't getting any fuel, or inadvertently, like a fuel line was blocked. They checked that when they came into the pits. That wasn't the problem. They checked under the hood for possibly a few of the spark plug wires off. That wasn't the problem. It turned out to be a switch on the ignition. It was bad, so they had to pull it out and wire it directly together. They fired it up, and he managed to stay on the lead lap. So Jimmy Hensley right now looking to find a caution.
Yeah, Hensley in the 66 car is all by himself. himself out there, running well behind the rest of the field. As you can see, it moves up through turn number 4. There is Mark Martin of the Valvoline Ford, car number 6. Use of telemetry this afternoon that will allow you to see where he is on the brake and where he's on the accelerator and where he will be shifting. And we say again that these drivers shift somewhere between 10 and 15 times depending upon the driver. And so there was a lot to do out there on the racetrack. There's the telemetry seeing the RPM in the upper right-hand corner and the speed shifting now to 4th gear, moving into turn number 7, now up to 3rd gear as he puts on the brake. Going through their net at about 42 miles an hour in second.
Yeah, I knew they would get down under 50 miles an hour coming in here, Bob, because the turn is so flat. And here is Greg Sachs with the problem. There was a problem up in turn 4. Herb Hare tangled with someone up there, and he spun completely around. He's back at the back of the pack now, but he did get going again. Greg Sachs going very slow. Don't know what's wrong with the Kellogg's Cornflakes car.
Greg had to take a provisional to get in the starting lineup. He began in 41st position in that Kellogg's Cornflakes Chevrolet. Here once again is Ricky Rudd leading the others down to complete another lap. Rudd over Rusty Wallace, Darrell Waltrip, Bill Elliott, Wally Dallenbach Jr. and Terry Labonte. We're glad you could join us on this beautiful Sunday afternoon from Northern California as we present NASCAR Winston Cup Racing.
Hi. You know why Quaker State asked me to be their spokesman? Because I'm tough. Quaker State is tough. Tough on wear and tough on sludge. If you use Quaker State in your new car's engine, they'll guarantee it for 250,000 miles or 10 years in writing. Quaker State is one tough motor oil. So naturally they asked me because I'm tough. You don't think it's because they think I'm oily?
You about finished? How's it going? Great. We have a lot of good mechanics that shop at AutoZone. Well, you also have a lot of people who just want to save some money by doing a simple job themselves, like changing their oil or putting in new plugs. They just want to come in, get what they need, and get out. Well, at AutoZone, we have parts for just about every car made. So if you know what you want, great. But if you're not quite sure about something, no problem. We'll help. After all, that's what we're here for.
Shape up with ESPN's midday workout. First at 11, Body by Jake gets your engine started with a workout and great health and fitness information. Keep on going at 11:30 with a well-rounded routine on getting fit with Denise Austin. You'll keep on moving at noon with aerobic exercise on Bodies in Motion. And then at 12:30, Body Shaping helps you tone up and slim down. It's better to look good and feel good on ESPN's midday workout.
Bob Jenkins, Ned Jarrett, Benny Parsons, Dr. Jerry Punch, and John Kernan back at Sears Point International Raceway and NASCAR Stock Car Racing. Being led by Ricky Rudd, then Rusty Wallace, and then 3rd, 4th, and 5th right here. That is Darrell Waltrip, and a close battle for 4th position as Wally Dallenbach Jr. in car number 16 tries to take the spot away from Bill Elliott. Here's a guy that has competed here many times in Trans Am and SCCA racing, Wally Dallenbach Jr. He came here with the greatest confidence that if he had a chance to win any race this year, it would be here at Sears Point.
Bob, he's looked pretty impressive. He started in 9th position, has moved up to 5th, and really is working on Bill Elliott there now as they head up here into turn 7. Let's see, Darrell Waltrip goes to the inside. Bill Elliott goes high, and here Dallenbach tries to get on the inside, but I don't think that's the line he needs coming off of that turn. Nope, won't work for him. For more on Dallenbach, let's go to the pits and Jerry Punch.
You guys are right about Dallenbach taking to this road course. You know, in Trans Am competition and IMSA GTO competition, he had 3 wins here and at least a half a dozen second-place finishes. He said, I love this place. This is my kind of racetrack. I've been struggling all year trying to get accustomed to those oval tracks in a stock car, but today it's my turn to shine. And guys, early on, he's shining.
He sure is. During his Trans Am and his IMSA Camel GTO days, he ran here at Sears Point at least 10 times, and he won on 3 different occasions. Getting a little high coming out of turn number 11 that time, almost scraping the wall with the left side of the race car. Continuing to run in 5th position right behind Bill Elliott and Darrell Waltrip. Labonte. Oh, and a spin. That is number 37, Rick Corelli. Regular on the Southwest Tour Series.
Bobby came off turn 8B, I call it. Lost the back end, made a 360. Got the thing in gear, jumped off, no problem.
He was one of those who competed yesterday in the Southwest Tour race here at Sears Point. And here's a look at it, Benny.
Yeah, we can see he's already lost the back end. That's the 360 I was talking about. And fortunately, he went down in the dirt instead of back across the racetrack in front of those two cars.
That's right in front of you, isn't it, pretty much?
Exactly right in front of me. What a seat I had that time.
There's Corelli. He's back going again. And right now shown in 36th position. Now this great battle continues to heat up, and 3rd, 4th, and 5th are just running together like they're tied together. And also Terry Labonte in 6th position.
Well, he's another good road racer, Bob. I believe that Dollenbach might go on if he could get by Bill Elliott. Darrell Walker, now he has dropped back a little bit, but having a great race.
We've got some heavy smoke out of Darrell Walker's car as he came by me just a moment ago. I don't know if it was car smoke as it came through the corner or what exactly it was. We'll check it out later.
We'll watch for that here. See if it's evident in turn number 11. Don't really see very much. Elliott tries to get to the inside of Darrell Waltrip coming off turn number 11. Can't do it. And so they continue to run in that formation. The 21 car of Morgan Shepherd. Some smoke coming from that car, and he is headed for his pit. Morgan Shepherd in the Citgo Ford. Wood Brothers prepared car. They're going to raise the hood on it as they put some fuel in it, just in case he's able to get back in competition. And now we bring you our first Napa Field summary of the day. This is our indication to you where your favorite driver is running, and we try to do that about every 10 minutes during the course of the race. They put the hood down on the 21 car. Now he'll show up here in our serial scoring, but of course he isn't in the position that he is shown because he has come into the pits. This is the way they were running on the last lap. Shepherd moves back out onto the racetrack. There he was. He was in 18th position on the previous lap, but now, of course, drops back to near the tail of the field as we watch Ricky Rudd continue to lead this race with Wallace running in second. And here's a battle as the 25 car, Penn Schrader, the 44 machine gets its wheels off. That is Chad Sellers. Its left wheels off the racetrack there in turn number 7.
Jack took on a lap down, I believe, Bob, and was just trying to give room to the faster cars as they come around.
They just went by me, turn 9 down towards turn 10. There's Kyle Petty. Schrader trying to catch him with Ron Hornaday. What a great run he's having after that victory he had yesterday in the GM Goodwrench 200 Southwest Tour race we had here on ESPN yesterday.
Did he win that, or did John Cox win that race?
Oh, he ran second, didn't he?
That's what I thought. Yeah, Hornaday was second, and obviously has a good run going here this afternoon in the Winston Cup race.
Morgan Shepherd is back on the racetrack. Citgo Ford seems to be running pretty good as he goes through turn 7. He's at least a half a lap behind the leaders.
Here comes Kyle Petty and Andy Schrader. That is 13th and 14th. Schrader in 14th position right now in the Kodiak Chevrolet car number 25. We go inside the Valvoline Ford of Mark Martin and take a lap around Sears Point with the telemetry. Now watch the upper right corner of your screen for the footwork, the dance that Mark does.
This is turn 6. He's coming out of turn 6 in third gear, accelerating up towards Ned Jarrett.
And he changes. He gets down into third, then into second gear as he heads into this flat turn. And Terry Labonte right in front of him blocks the brakes, but he gets slowed down okay. And Mark then accelerates very gingerly off of this turn and then goes into third. And he'll quickly go into fourth. A little bit of break there as he goes into turn 8, getting headed towards you.
I was kind of interested to see how fast these guys are going as they go right by me. 112 miles an hour as he went by me in fourth gear. Now as he goes into turn 10, he brakes, still in fourth gear, goes through 10 in fourth gear. That's kind of a surprise to me as he goes down into turn 11. Hard on the brake. Now he'll shift up into third, and then back to second as he goes through turn 11, accelerating off this corner, back towards the start-finish line. Back to, I saw 62 miles an hour. I saw 8,600 RPMs for just a moment there, Bob.
Yeah, it looks like the speed on this racetrack varies from around 133, maybe 140 miles an hour, down to, of course, around 35 or so as they break for corner number 11. Mark Martin is running in 7th position at the end of 7 laps in this 74-lap race. 187 miles, 300 kilometers. The pole sitter, Ricky Rudd, is leading the race, and Preston Wallace is running in 2nd spot. Back after this.
At Hercules Fence, we've been building quality, custom-made fences and decks since 1955. We're Tidewater's largest because we offer the best prices for the best quality. Quality like this: French Gothic picket, ornamental fencing, custom decks and benches. We buy all our materials by the truckload to save you money, and we stand behind all our products with a full warranty. So when you need a fence, call Hercules.
The fewer cars we put on the road, the fewer pollutants we put in the environment. So all the times you thought riding the bus was for the birds, it turns out you were right. Pentran, it's the way to go. Is the cost of getting around in your car these days enough to make your head spin? Maybe it's time you looked into an economy model. Pentran, it's the way to go.
Boxing. Undefeated Vincent Phillips packs a lethal punch.
A right hand, and there goes Johnson.
He'll face Fernando Sanchez on Top Rank Boxing Thursday night, live on ESPN.
Significant development in the early going of the St. Mark's Supermarkets 300. Davey Allison has contacted the wall big time on the left side of the car. He brings it in with a considerable amount of damage. The tire is rubbing. This is the Winston Cup points leader. And Jerry Punch is there in his pit.
Exactly what they did not want to have happen. Left front damage, left rear damage. They're going to try to change the tires. All 4 tires, pull the sheet metal away. Robert Yates, the car owner, talking to him. Davey loosens the steering wheel, tries to get it set straight. They are looking at the tires, looking beneath the car to see if there's any other chassis damage. The trailing arms, they are fueling the car. Now trying to pull some of the sheet metal away from the left front. Now the concern goes to the left rear. They're having trouble getting fuel in the car. They will raise the rear deck and try to pull some and push some of that sheet metal away from the area. Back where the fuel cell is. While they're here, they're going to go ahead and try to change both left side tires. The left rear tire particularly flat spotted from that spin and contact over there with the wall. Davey Allison sitting very patiently. One of the advantages of being on a road course is you can be in the pits for a lengthy period of time and not lose a lap, but they are doing a lot of serious work here on the Avalon for Thunderbird. Bob?
Looks like he'll be ready to pull out in just a few moments. Let's show you what happened. Benny, it happened right up there by you, didn't it?
Right direct in front of me, just like Corelli. He came off turn 8B, we'll call it. Down it, he lost the back end, was never able to get it back. Did a slow 180 and ran into the tire barrier over there. And I tell you what, he's lucky those tires were there because I think that metal barrier would have done a lot more damage than the tires.
Yeah, the guardrails are protected by tires. Problem is when you hit the tires, they get scattered all over the place, and that is one reason why we have this full course caution, so the corner workers can get out there and restack those tires and protect that guardrail. So our first caution of the day is out as we have completed now 8 laps of this race with Ricky Rudd still in the lead.
And Bob, we wonder now, have they run far enough that they'll make pit stops? If they do, this might work to David Allison's advantage. He's already made his pit stop. If he doesn't have to come back in, he will stay out there, and everybody else will be, as we see, coming down pit road. That might work good for him. John Kernan.
Then I'm in Darrell Walters' pit. He's 3rd in line, but he's got the first pit stall. Darrell will pull the Western Auto Chevrolet in. Jeff Hammond and crew swing around to work. It will be a 4-tire change. Darrell saying, give me a drink of water, give me a drink of water. It's already feeling the effects of the heat inside the car. Gasoline tank already full. Right side going on. Jeff Hammond swings the jack around to the left side, and they will go on left sides. Now let's go down to Ricky Rudd's pit and Jerry Punch.
Likewise, down here, Ricky Rudd's Tide crew going to work. They will change 4 tires, as will the Goodrich crew of Earnhardt, the Sunoco crew of Terry Labonte. Pit road, a very, very busy place. The crew's wanting to come in and get these brand new radial tires off the car. You see Earnhardt in front, Labonte behind, Rudd, the leader before this, in the middle. And there is 23.8 seconds as Ricky Rudd's Tide Chevrolet heads back to turn 1. Darrell Waltrip, Dale Earnhardt as they all go hustling back to turn 1.
Rusty Wallace appears to be out much sooner than a lot of the drivers. We'll stand by to see who exactly will be shown as the lead. I believe Alan Kulwicki is going to be the leader as we get set to go back to green flag conditions. We're under caution because of Davey Allison's incident with the wall over by turn number 8. Back in a moment.
What does it take to be a mountain man? Do you need a big horse? Do you need a deep tan? Do you have to have a saddle? Do you have to have the gear? Well, the simple truth is you just gotta have the beer.
Bush beer, an easy drinking Bush Light. Have you got what it takes to be a mountain man?
What does it take to live a mountain man's life? Get smooth Bush beer is a drinking Bush Light.
Around 1900, GMC Truck built America's first gasoline-powered truck and went on to make trucks our only business. A heritage of trucks that, some say, worked a little harder, lasted a little longer. And that's still true today in a truck that gives you the most standard payload and the strongest resale of any full-size pickup. Sierra, from GMC Truck, more proof of the strength of experience.
If only your tires could talk. It's so tiring. He babies the car, then abuses me with messy vinyl cleaner. Hey, I'm rubber. No-touch tire care. Ooh, nice foam.
No-touch tire care. The first product to clean, shine, and protect tires in one easy step. No scrubbing, no dirty rags, no mess.
Yeah, clean and shiny. Oh, no. Bad doggy. Go away.
Treat your tires right with no-touch tire care.
Trackbacks are brought to you by Quaker State. The Big Q is one tough motor oil.
Well, we all know that drivers train in various different ways. Now, Brett Bodine has kindly consented to let us eavesdrop on one of his sessions, Brett. So, you train in here?
Yeah, let's take a look, Jerry.
Okay, great.
Jerry, come on in here and join me for a minute. I got something I want to show you.
Well, this is lovely here in the office of the Quaker State Truck. Computer, television, all the comforts.
I got a little movie here I want you to see.
All right, I love movies. What, Days of Thunder?
No, something a little better than that.
Oh.
This is a tape off your ESPN coverage of Sears Point from Tommy Kendall's car. You know, drivers prepare for the races in a lot of different ways. One way that I like to prepare is watch the videotapes from a previous race at that racetrack. That way I can kind of learn the line and maybe pick up on a tip that I missed when I was there practicing and racing the last time.
So you guys basically record the in-car camera and watch the footwork of some of the road racing experts, and no wonder you've gotten so good on these road courses so quickly.
Just another way to try to make yourself better throughout the season in each and every racetrack.
Well, this is wonderful. Hey, pass the popcorn. I like
bud.
movies.
Here we go. Let's watch this thing.
Any cartoons here?
No, not today.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Brett Bodine, the driver of the Quaker State Buick, or rather Quaker State Ford, is shown in 20th position at the moment. Well, next Sunday we'll be at the unique 2.5-mile tri-oval racetrack. That's Pocono International Raceway. Darrell Walton, defending champion of the Champion Sparkplug 500. Now, you can bet by next Sunday it'll be a sellout, but right now there are seats available for this race, so call up and order right now. And we'll be there with live coverage at 12:30 Eastern Time next Sunday afternoon. The Champion Sparkplug 500 from Pocono International Raceway. Still under caution here at Sears Point. We'll be right back.
Hi. You know why Quaker State asked me to be their spokesman? Because I'm tough. Quaker State is tough. Tough on wear and tough on sludge. If you use Quaker State in your new car's engine, they'll guarantee it for 250,000 miles or 10 years in writing. Quaker State is one tough motor oil. So naturally they asked me because I'm tough. You don't think it's because they think I'm oily?
I love parties, putt parties.
I love Buster Ball, Buster Ball.
I'm gonna play putt.
Golf and games.
I love an ace shot, I give it all I got. I love to spin it, yeah, I wanna win it. I'm gonna play putt.
Golf and games.
Putt.
The fewer cars we put on the road, the fewer pollutants we put in the environment. So all the times you thought riding the bus was for the birds, it turns out you were right. Pentran, it's the way to go. Is the cost of getting around in your car these days enough to make your head spin? Maybe it's time you looked into an economy model. Pentran, it's the way to go.
In your face on ESPN with America's Game of the Week, Sunday Night Baseball, plus single games on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday night, and a Friday night doubleheader. Sunday night, baseball's leading hitter, John Kruk, sparks the Phillies against Ozzie Smith and the Cardinals. The Phillies meet the Cardinals live at 8 Eastern on America's Game of the Week, ESPN Sunday Night Baseball.
Has just taken the green flag to resume this Winston Cup race, and out front is Alan Kulwicki. There were some cars that did not pit during that first caution period. Alan Kulwicki did not. John Kernan, why not?
Well, Bob, it's all the strategy of crew chief Paul Andrews. He says if we're going to pull this thing off, we need to do something special. This is it. They figured to go about 25 to 29 laps under green on fuel. That's what they're staying right now. They pitted only about 11 laps in. That means they will still have to go. They're going to be off sequence, but still everybody else who came in and pitted this last time still needs 2 fuel stops. That's what Paul is banking on, that that's all they're going to need, and they're going to be out of sequence. But when it comes down at the end, if it goes green the rest of the way, they should be the car out front.
All pit strategy playing a hand in this race here today. We're watching the field move up through the S's, and one of the cars there that we saw was Dale Jarrett running behind Ricky Rudd. Jarrett had an unusual incident during qualifying. He ran into a deer, or a deer ran into his car while he was qualifying, and gave him quite a scare. Dale Jarrett right now finding himself running up in the top 10. And another Napa Field summary as Wally Dallenbach Jr. goes to the inside of the number 60 car driven by Mike Chase, Terry Labonte, and Kyle Petty-Do also. There's the Napa Field summary. How they were running last lap.
Well, this is a real struggle right now, Bob. All these slower cars mixed in with the fast cars. Trying to get through these very tight corners. It is a struggle up in turn 3, 3A. We're going down the hill towards turn 4. And we see Martin trying to get on the inside of Kyle Petty. He's trying to get on the inside of another car. This is turn 5. We're seeing the cars make the right-hander. There goes Kyle Petty by Mike Chase. Up over the hill into the carousel, turn 6.
Benny, they were able to run through there side by side. There is Martin and Jeff Bodine side by side. Brett Bodine right in there as well. Alan Kulwicki still leads coming into turn 7 here, but you're right, a lot of scrambling back in the field as they jockey for those positions.
Well, Rusty Wallace has now moved up into second position, passing Harry Gant. The leader continues to be Alan Kulwicki, and his best road course finish was 6th in the 12 road course events that he's competed in.
And I tell you what, Bob, Rusty Wallace right now has a pretty good jump on Ricky Rudd, and we know Rusty Wallace is a great road racer. I know Rudd certainly does want for him to get this far away.
And Rusty was on pins and needles in the garage area today, looking over the car, very nervously trying to assess his chances of winning here today, and I think they're very good. He's now within about 3 car lengths of Alan Kulwicki. As you can see, Wallace shifting, going uphill.
Boy, did he gain on Kulwicki going into turn 2. As he downshifted the second, he closed right up on the back bumper into turn 3 again on the back bumper. 3A back to the right and downhill. He looks on the inside. Can he make the pass?
Let's see. It looks like he's going to be able to. Yes, indeed. Rusty Wallace making the pass in a place you don't normally think as a good passing zone, Ned.
Well, I think the new tires helped him considerably, Bob. He has 4 new tires on for Wiki State out as we documented. Didn't take on any tires or gas, and evidently the new tires make quite a difference here now. Rusty's been able to pull away.
Yeah, he's separating himself now from Alan Kowicki as they come off of turn number 6 and down the long straightaway, headed for turn 7 again.
And Rusty knows how to negotiate this turn. He comes in a little wide and then dips her down to the inside. Gets good traction off the turn with those new tires. Kowicki, meanwhile, his car pushed out just a little bit coming off that turn. That cost him a little bit more time.
Here comes Rusty Wallace right towards me, having the time of his life, leading the race, going through the S's. A right-hander. There comes Rusty right by me, Alan Kowicki. All these fellas doing very well, and Davey Allison looked like he might be a little off the pace. The last time I watched Davey come through here, like he might be a little bit slower than before. We might check and see if he has some damage to that car that we can't see, guys.
Just left my position here, Benny. He's passing some of the cars in the back, but I'm not sure that car is running as good as it was earlier. Here's Darrell Walter making a move on Dale Jarrett.
And now Wally Dahlbeck Jr. is right behind Dale Jarrett as they move across the start-finish line once again and complete lap number 15 of 74.
I believe Dale Jarrett only took on 2 tires, Bob, during that stop. He got out pretty quick. He was running in 18th position and came out in 7th position, even though I'm sure Jimmy Makar and the crew made a good pit stop, but it's hard to imagine they could have picked up that many position changing all 4 tires.
Wally Dahlbeck Jr. moving to 8th position.
And has his eyes on Darrell Walter trying to gain as he goes up the hill into the carousel.
There's Davey Allison trying to move through the field after a contact with the tire barrier a little bit earlier. Here's an update from the pit area.
They have checked the Penard bar, seems to be okay. The sheet metal is beaten back away. The big concern was the fuel filler. You see Norman Kosovisu here repairing a new one. NASCAR has told him that they will have to black flag the car and bring it in if it were to leak fuel around that fuel filler. Right now it is not leaking, but a lot of concern here in the Haviland pit. They're getting ready. They would have to replace that fuel filler deck in the left rear of the car. One other thing, the car is towed in, the left front towed in about 3/4 of an inch. They would love to see a yellow flag anytime soon, guys.
Davey Allison is in 38th position right now, and this could definitely shake up the point situation. Davey coming into this event 70 markers ahead of Harry Gant and only 99 ahead of Dale Earnhardt, and really the top 5 separated by only 130 points. There's the leader, Rusty Wallace, who won here at Sears Point back in 1990. And until last year, he and Rudd dominated road course racing. Alan Kowicki there at number 7, and Bill Elliott at number 11, who's having a great run.
He really is, Bob. He came out of the pits in the 8th position and now has moved up to 3rd, so the Budweiser Ford is on the move.
2nd, 3rd, and 4th right there. Alan Kowicki, Bill Elliott, and here comes the pole sitter, Ricky Rudd, who, by the way, is eligible for $45,600 in Unocal bonus money if he can win this race.
I tell you, we talk about Rusty Wallace and Ricky Rudd. Bill Elliott's no slouch when it comes to road courses. He, in my opinion, is one of the best road racers we have in Winston Cup racing.
Well, didn't he win his first ever Winston Cup race in Riverside, California?
Exactly, 1983, then.
Who did he pass on that last turn coming out of the turn?
Some guy named Parsons, I think it was. I remember that, then.
No, you wouldn't allow that to happen, would you, Benny?
I didn't want it to happen, but it happened anyway.
Besides being a tremendous road course racer, Bill Elliott came out here to go to school. He completed the Skip Barber Racing School in a 2-day advanced session, driving a Formula Ford. So Elliott obviously is very concerned about doing well. Well, there is Dale Earnhardt, who just passed Harry Gant, like Gant was sitting still. Gant, of course, 2nd of the points, and Earnhardt 3rd.
And Gant did not make the pit stop, so the tires he has on are a little more worn than some of those that did make pit stops.
And Mark Martin also is trying to make a move on Kyle Petty, running just ahead, and Dale Jarrett also
Boy, are they sawing those wheels as they come off the corner and losing the back end, trying to keep the thing in gear. Let's see as he goes up through turn 1, the left-hander. 100 miles an hour as he goes in there. Back up the hill to the right, down to 60 miles an hour. He's in second gear as the acceleration. Harry Gant moves over. Let these guys go with the fresher tires.
And Mark Martin also getting by Harry Gant. One of the reasons why the speed drops off so significantly, guys, and obviously our TV pictures can't adequately show this, there is a tremendous elevation change from the start-finish line up to turn 3.
You go almost straight up the hill. It seems like it's 20-25 degrees, but I realize it's probably only about a 10-degree incline up the hill to turn 2. You're coming off turn 6 in third gear, and Eddie's going to dump it fourth and come toward you then, about 125 miles an hour.
And he's going to try to, well, Kyle Petty has a little bit of a lead on him this time. I thought maybe he might try to outbrake him coming into this turn, but Kyle was too far ahead. Kyle's up there working on Dale Jarrett, trying to get by him.
Mark Martin running in 12th position. Kyle Petty in 11th, and Dale Jarrett is 10th. We'll show you the top 10 after 17 of 74 laps at Sears Point International.
Today, performance cars come in a variety of designs, sizes, and even prices. So do Goodyear Eagles, the world's most successful line of performance tires. There are all-season Goodyear Eagles, new ultra-performance Goodyear Eagles. There are Goodyear Eagles for the classic and for the contemporary. No matter what performance car you own, there's a Goodyear Eagle priced for you. It's another reason we say the best tires in the world have Goodyear written all over them.
Everyone talks about how racing technology makes their street cars better. What they fail to say is whose race technology has won more than anyone else. Chevrolet. The cars more people depend on.
Pronto Auto Parts. From coast to coast, your local Pronto Auto Parts store features friendly service and quality auto parts at lower prices.
Just a reminder, proper maintenance with AC Delco parts can significantly reduce premature wrinkles. AC Delco, it's like buying time.
When you need to know about auto parts, ask the pro at Pronto.
One swing. You could win $50,000 in the ESPN Sunday Night Baseball Subway Grand Slam Challenge. Watch for details beginning Sunday, June 14th, here on ESPN.
Wallace in the Miller Genuine Draft Pontiac leads the St. Mark's Supermarket's 300-kilometer NASCAR Winston Cup race at Sears Point International Raceway. Here's Alan Kowicki, Bill Elliott, Ricky Rudd, and Wally Dallenbach Jr. running behind the leader. Here comes Terry Labonte and Dale Earnhardt. Mark Martin has gotten around Kyle Petty and Dale Jarrett. Here comes Sterling Marlin in the Maxwell House car.
And right in the middle, there's Darrell Waltrip. Darrell was running up there in the top 10 when we left, Bob. But had a little bit of a problem up here in turn 7 as he and Terry Labonte came through here. Labonte was on the inside, and he barely nudged Darrell and just spun him right on around. He didn't hit anything. In fact, he spun the car around in front of Sterling Marlin. We'll see him there in just a moment. Well, okay, anyway, he spun it around, got it going again, didn't stop it, he lost a lot of positions.
Yeah, he sure did. He was in 6th position before the spin, and now he is 14th. The man on the move, man, the guy that really we need to keep our eye on is Bill Elliott here as he comes up on Alan Kowicki.
Yeah, he has really been working on him for the last several laps as he goes through turn 7 here now. He just can't get the move that he needs to make on him. He caught him pretty quickly. As we mentioned earlier, Elliott came out in 8th position after that pit stop and quickly moved up to 3rd and is holding Ricky Rudd off okay, but he can't do anything with Kowicki once he caught him.
Well, once again, today's race includes the Gillette Halfway Challenge. $10,000 goes to the driver leading at the halfway lap. With the new Chevrolet Lumina Z34. If you've entered the contest for this race and your entry is selected and you were called at home, you must name the driver who won the Gillette Halfway Challenge $10,000 or more to win that new car. If you want to enter next week's Champions Spark Plug 500 race on June 14th, write to Gillette Halfway Challenge, Post Office Box 2246, St. Petersburg, Florida, zip code 33731, 2246. You must be 18 years of age or older to enter, and you must receive your entry by Saturday, June 13th to be eligible for next week's Gillette Halfway Challenge.
You know, I talked about what a great road racer Bill Elliott was. Looks to me like Alan Kawicki's no slouch, because he did not stop. He didn't get fresh tires, and he's still able to stay in front of Elliott.
And Morgan Shepherd heads for pit road once again. He has been in once earlier and now comes in for another unscheduled pit stop. John?
Well, they'd had a problem with oil leaking out around the valve cover. That's where they're going to go to work now. They thought they had it fixed. They put some rags around. They will put some more rags around the breather. Work continuing. Eddie Wood, Redwood, Leonardwood, all looking on, trying to keep the oil from coming out. It's been blowing out the breathers. They'll put more rags on top, and they will try and get it fixed, Bob.
Morgan Shepherd relinquishes 25th position. Now, look at this. Bill Elliott has moved into second position.
And
Ricky Rudd has gone to third.
Yes, he has. And Elliott came into turn 7 really hot and locked his brakes, but he kept the blue line forward under control, and now is moving away in second place.
I'll tell you what, Elliott has put about 4 or 5 car links on Ricky Rudd as he came through the S's. And here they come into turn 10, and Elliott's going away from Rudd as they go down toward 11th.
And here is the pass. This is how Elliott got into second position. It happened, Ned, as they were headed directly for you.
Yeah, he got up under him coming off of turn 6, and then Kawicki, I believe, just slowed down. And you see Elliott come into turn 7 really hot. He locks the right front brake. In fact, Rudd gets under him there for a moment, but Elliott had the best line coming off the turn, so he holds on to the position. In fact, moves away a little bit.
We can see why Bill Elliott went in wide, because as he went in wide, as he came off the corner, you can see how he pulled away from Ricky Rudd, who chose to go in on the low side of turn 7. 2 distinct driving styles. It looked like Elliott's way is the best way, doesn't it, Ned?
Riding with Mark Martin there for a moment, but here is Harry Gant making an unscheduled pit stop. They're changing rubber on the right side of the course. He did not stop now during that first caution period. John Kernan, can you see this?
I just talked to Andy Peepy moments ago. He said, yeah, they're in their window. Now they will only need one more pit stop to make it the rest of the way. They've already finished work on the right side. They will go to the left side. They, too, figured that, as Alan Kawicki's crew did, that the only chance they had to really get out front was to not stop on that last caution and go ahead and stick with their 2 pit stop strategy.
Okay, so it was a scheduled pit stop, and now Harry Gant will keep it under 35 miles an hour as he goes out of the pit area and back onto the racetrack. Harry Gant dropping down to 19th position as he comes out.
Well, Bob, there's one thing on this racetrack, because it takes about a minute and 40 to 41 seconds to go around here. You can make that pit stop. So the fact that he and Alan Kawicki and others stayed out there, yeah, they're going to have to stop under green if there's not a caution here pretty quickly. Dan's already done that. But they can still stay in the lead lap. And then if they can catch a caution, everybody else come in, they can be right back up front again. So you never know how that strategy will work out. Many times it'll work out to the very best. And Harry Gant, you know, what he's hoping for here today is consistency and a good finish. He doesn't consider himself a top road racer. He just wants to get out here with a good finish and stay at least in second and fourth.
Now there is Ernie Irvan. Remember, he started from the outside of the front row, was black flagged for jumping the start, and now Ernie Irvan finds himself in 18th position, still on the lead lap. Certainly not out of contention, but definitely suffering somewhat of a setback by jumping the start and being black flagged for a stop-and-go penalty.
And that's something we don't see very much. I don't really know exactly what happened in that deal, because very seldom do we see the outside pole man jump the pole sitter in Winston Cup racing.
There's the interval between first and second. There's third place Ricky Rudd, and running in fourth place now is Wally Dallenbach Jr. as the young driver from Colorado continues to have an excellent race in the Keystone Beer car. That car, of course, prepared by Jack Roush. Wally Dallenbach Jr. running in fourth position. Well, the race has settled down somewhat right now as Rusty Wallace has a rather comfortable lead on Bill Elliott and Ricky Rudd and Dallenbach. We'll take a break and be right back with more from Sears Point.
Introducing tire foam from Armor All. One spray, and even old tires look great. Kind of makes you wish we made car foam, doesn't it? New tire foam from Armor All. Just spray, walk away.
Here we go again, guys. Wow, I feel good. Yeah, this guy really gets around. He's got the auto lights. American or import, we're guaranteed. I feel good. Yeah, 2 years, no matter how far he goes. That's why we've been everywhere. Vegas. I feel good. Yeah. Daytona. I would now. LA. Wherever we're going. The Superman, yeah. And we're not even tired.
It is from Kodak. It delivers the highest resolution. Microfine grain. Superior image structure. For ultra-sharp detail. It is called Ektar. Ektar Film by Kodak. The genius is in the details. Ektar Film now comes in a new cartonless package in 25, 100, and 1,000 speeds.
There's a look at Rusty Wallace, who is leading this NASCAR Winston Cup race here at Sears Point International. Going into today's race, he had led 45% of the laps at Sears Point. I mentioned earlier how intense he was in the garage area this morning, looking around the car, mentally getting himself prepared for this event. He comes into this race 12th in the point standings. He knows that he can make a significant jump if he does well here today, and he is doing well here today so far.
That's a great shot as we see Rusty Wallace shifting the car, second gear, third gear. Now he's down in turn 11. He's in second gear. He'll accelerate off this corner. But as we watch Rusty Wallace, guys, Wally Dallenbach is coming.
Oh, and Wally gets a little bit sideways as he came off of corner number 11. But still maintains that fourth position. Yeah, he may have heard you, Benny. There he is. Back still running fourth, but now a little bit of racetrack between himself and the third place car driven by Ricky Rudd. Another Napa Field summary for you. Look for your favorite driver. This is how they were running last time around.
Would nail the gas and try to get off the corner faster than these guys, because he hasn't had a lot to crow about this year, Bob. Winston Cup racing, the oval track, which he's not that much familiar with, he's had a rough time. He's on his course now, his turf. He's trying to show these guys he is truly a race car driver that belongs in Winston Cup racing.
Yeah, I think he knows, and his car owner, Jack Brown, also knows that he has to gain some experience on the ovals, but this race is very important to him because he can show Jack and everybody else that he's a racer when he gets on his home turf. Now, Ricky Rudd trying to take over second spot from Bill Elliott. They're very close down to you, Ned.
Yeah, and it's their driving style that Benny spoke on here a little bit earlier. Elliott comes in very high here, and Rudd comes in very low. He runs in here hard, and he'll run up under him almost every time, but Elliott has the line coming off to the side, and so when you get off on the other side, he's as far ahead of him as he was before they came in here.
Looks to me like Bill Elliott and these guys are gaining on Rusty Wallace, Bob. What do you think?
Yeah, I think you're right. The interval has closed. Here's Wallace entering turn number 11, and just a second or so behind is Elliott and Rudd and Dallenbach. They're completing lap number 24 of 74.
Rusty makes that left-hander going up the hill. That's turn 1, you see it. And these guys going turn 2. Accelerate up into turn 3.
Wally Dallenbach Jr.'s best finish this year was at Talladega. He was 14. Hasn't had a top 10 finish so far this year, but is definitely in a competitive role here this afternoon, running the fourth turn.
Up over the hill. This is turn 6 to Carousel. And Walt Dallenbach lost just a little bit ago. It looks like he's gained back now as he comes towards you.
He has been. He settled down a little bit after that move that he thought was going to get him something. Cost him something. But it looks like he has been back up on Ricky Rudd again as they come into turn 7 here. The second, third, and fourth place cars right together.
Alan Kulwicki, we understand, may be making a pit stop next time around. He, of course, did not pit during that first caution period we had. The same situation that Harry Gant was in.
Bob, one thing he does not want to do is run out of gas on this racetrack because you can't coast back. Well, here's the car number 60 that is spun around here right in front of us. Now, there's caution in this turn, but that's not a full course caution as yet, Bob.
Well, that, of course, is Mike Chase, car number 60, and here's a replay of what happened then.
Well, Kyle Petty was under him, and there's Sterling Marlin. I don't think he knew that Marlin was under him. Marlin clips him a little bit and spins him right around. Okay, the yellow flag still waving in this corner. But
it is here too, Ned.
Okay.
Yep, overall caution. The yellow flag being displayed by Doyle Ford. This will close up the field and definitely give Alan Kowicki somewhat of a break because he'll now be able to pit under caution. It's our second of the day here at Sears Point. We'll be back with more live action after this.
At GMC Truck, our only business is trucks, and has been for over 80 years. A dedication to truck strengths and values to keep in mind. Because when you need to haul something, tow something, carry precious cargo, find new trails, or simply ride high and proud, there's nothing quite as strong as a truck. GMC Truck, the strength of experience.
All of these championship-winning drivers have one thing in common: Goodyear Racing Eagles. The race-winning technology that's found in the Goodyear Racing Eagles can also be found in the world's best-selling line of high-performance street tires, Goodyear Eagle Street Radials. The champions know, and it's why we say the best tires in the world have Goodyear written all over them.
Where to find the Mountain Man. A mountain man can often be found on the trail of adventure, in search of remote watering holes, or weathering harsh climates. Most often, however, you'll find the Mountain Man wherever you find smooth bush beer or easy drinking bush light. So, head for the mountains and find yourself in the wide, open world of the Mountain Man.
26 of 74 laps completed. Here are the top five. It's Rusty Wallace, Bill Elliott, Ricky Rudd, Wally Zallenbach, and Terry Labonte. Under our second caution period of the afternoon, and pit road has just opened, so those running up front, we assume, will be coming in for a pit stop. Certainly Alan Kulwicki needed a pit stop, and he waited long enough so he could do it under caution. Here comes virtually everyone in the pit area.
I'm sure Harry Gant will stay out there. Harry Gant will stay out there, probably leading the race. As he come down pit road, following the leader, Rusty Wallace. Here goes Harry Gant by me right now, so undoubtedly he will take the lead and gain 5 Winston Cup points for leading the race.
Let's go to John Kernan, who's in Alan Kulwicki's pit.
Bob, talk about a great opportunity. Alan could only go 27 laps on fuel. This is lap 26. He was 1 lap away from running out of fuel. They were going to pit. Paul Andrews got the word just before that car, just as that caution came out. And now Alan is on pit road, and let's get further down pit road this year.
Sitting way up toward turn 1 as Alan Kulwicki leads. Davey Allison just now getting into his pit, but Rusty Wallace's crew now having trouble with the right side. They have already taken the left side lug nuts off. They have a problem with the right front. He cannot leave. They have the lug nuts off the left side. Rusty started to pull away, and Bruce said, no, no, no. And now they have to jack the left side of the car up. A lot of valuable time being lost under the caution, which will put Rusty way back in that pack. Remember, it's a single file restart. Now finally left side lug nuts are on, but he cannot get out. The car in front of him with the running clock. Now Rusty slides, spins it in gear, and finally will be able to make his way out of pit road.
A 52-second pit stop for Rusty Wallace, and you can see the displeasure as he had an inordinately long pit stop that cost him valuable positions on the racetrack.
And boy, that track position is so important, Bob, at every racetrack, but nowhere is it more important than here at Sears Point or on a road course.
So he will now have to fight his way back up through the traffic. He was leading this race when the caution period came out, but now he will have to pass many, many cars to get back up into the lead. Rusty Wallace from Fenton, Missouri, trying to pull off his second win here at Sears Point International Raceway in the Save Mart Supermarkets 300. Our Speed World coverage of this NASCAR Winston Cup event is being brought to you by Autolite Spark Plugs. Guaranteed for 2 years, no matter how far you go. By Smooth Busch Beer and Easy Drinking Busch Light. And by ESPN Home Video, producers and distributors of Richard Petty and STP. Available at video and retail stores nationwide. While we're under the caution, we'll take another break and be right back at Sears Point.
If you're a wheelchair user, there's one place you can call to give you a more active, independent lifestyle. By calling Charlton's Mobility Center, you'll be introduced to the Braun Lift-Away Wheelchair Lift, known for its smooth operation and dependability. Or if greater access to the passenger area is desired, the Swing-Away Lift is a practical choice. Begin to enjoy all that life has to offer. Call Charlton's Mobility Center at 595-4405.
Announcing Digital Music Express. 30 channels of CD quality music. 24 hours a day. No interruptions, no talk. Just pure CD quality music. Digital Music Express. Coming soon through your cable system.
The Iowa caucus was held in North Dakota at Jenny's Cafe. The California primary was held on a farm in New Jersey. Bud Monroe will host the Democratic National Convention at his barbershop. Wherever you live, your local cable company is bringing the most extensive election coverage in history to your town. So you'll be better prepared to vote for the next president, who will be sworn in January 20th at the home of Charles and Nellie Sparks.
Maybe you ought to make one of them cream pies, Nellie.
We're back at Sonoma, California, Sears Point International Raceway, and the St. Martin Supermarkets 300 NASCAR Winston Cup race. The leader right now is Harry Gant in car number 33, second in line. Ron Hornaday in number 92 is the car up front, but he is now back on the tail end of the lead lap. Now here comes the pass, and Elliott is going to go to the front. Oh, Ned!
Hornaday locks the brakes coming in here, and he's out in the beach that I spoke of here earlier. He gets back on track now, pulls back in front of some cars.
Now we're going to see how good Bill Elliott is as he now has the lead. Terry Labonte right behind him, Ricky Rudd. We've got 3 great road racers. Who has the best race car? If Bill Elliott can get back to the front, he'll get 5 bonus points for leading this race. And Davey Allison, the current Winston Cup point leader, is not going to win any bonus points for leading today, Bob.
That's for sure. Here is Labonte now trying to sneak inside of Bill Elliott, but Elliott holds off Labonte's challenge, and also Rudd and Mark Martin. And Dale Jarrett has spun in turn number 11. His car is on the inside of the track, off the track itself.
Looks like he's just waiting for a spot in the traffic that he can get going again.
And again, you just lose valuable positions as you sit there. Here it is again, and they may have gotten some help from Brett Bodine.
I think Dale ran in on Darrell Waltrip there, and Brett then ran in on Dale and tapped him just a little bit.
So Jarrett loses some valuable positions. Here is the guy that you know is trying as hard as he can to pass some traffic. This is Rusty Wallace after a very lengthy pit stop and a loss of those positions. Here's Jerry.
And the problems may not be over yet for Rusty Wallace and the Miller Genuine Draft crew. They never got to change the right front tire. We could not see from this side of the wall. Joe Wilburn was trying to get the lug nuts off. Only one lug nut would come off. The other ones were frozen on the studs. They left the right front tire on. It's the same right front tire that's been on there since lap 10. So Rusty only has 3 fresh tires, but make no difference. He's still doing the best he can to get that car back toward the front.
Running side by side with Jeff Bodine. And in 17th position. Rusty now in 17th spot. There he passes Ron Hornaday Jr.
He goes right by me, Bob, and you're right. He's trying as hard as he possibly can. And the front tire might not be, all the tires are important, but here the rear tires are the most important 2 tires on the racetrack.
Driving like a man possessed, shifting down to second gear to go into turn number 11.
choke right in front of him, the Pure Leather Chevrolet. But Rusty's got that going now. We can see the frustration when he started pounding the steering wheel with his fist. I think that said it all.
Yeah, I think that pretty much expressed his feelings at the moment. Rusty finishing second in North Wilkesboro earlier this year, his best of 92. Until last year, he and Rudd virtually dominated the road course races. In Watkins Glen, Rusty won in 89 and 87, won here in 1990. Of course, Rudd and Wallace's dynasty was broken last year when Allison won here and Ernie Irvan won at Watkins Glen. While Bill Elliott, Terry Labonte, Ricky Rudd, and Mark Martin run up front, the man on the move is right there, Ernie Irvan.
Yeah, he has come back up through the pack. Remember, he went to the rear of the field when he was black flagged for jumping the start of the race and has worked his way back up through there and definitely is on the move to that Chevrolet.
Oh!
And here's Wally Dallenbach in turn 7 down on the inside, Bob. That car might be hung up on the tires. It looks like the back end perhaps has the wheels off the ground. He's probably spinning the wheels, but it won't go anywhere. Yeah, you see those wheels spinning. There's no rubber to the ground.
And the full yellow is coming out, not just in that section of the racetrack, but overall. And there goes the optimism of Wally Dallenbach.
Let's see if we can see. He was right in.
Doesn't look like he got hit by anybody.
I don't think he did. I think he just spun around as he started off of there, Bob.
Well, guys, I saw him up in turn 3 coming down. I can see turn 3 from my vantage point, and it looked like he got the car a little bit loose up in turn 3 before he got to you, Ned.
As you can see, he is high-centered, and those rear wheels aren't making contact with the grass, and so he just sits there and will until somebody comes to his rescue. We'll be right back.
When Darrell Waltrip needs a part, he needs the right part, and he needs it fast.
And when you need parts, see the parts team at Western Auto. We've got top name brands and thousands of parts in stock. Right, guys?
Right, DW.
And we've got the right price, backed by our low price guarantee, right?
Right, DW. And pick up quality Raybestos brake shoes or pads for as low as $10.99 per axle set. Raybestos, the best in brakes.
That's why I take our trucks to Western Auto. Right, Jeff?
Wrong, Darrell.
Jeff takes your trucks to Western Auto.
Hi. You know why Quaker State asked me to be their spokesman? Because I'm tough. Quaker State is tough. Tough on wear and tough on sludge. If you use Quaker State in your new car's engine, they'll guarantee it for 250,000 miles or 10 years in writing. Quaker State is one tough motor oil. So naturally they asked me because I'm tough. You don't think it's because they think I'm oily?
Around 1900, GMC Truck built America's first gasoline-powered truck and went on to make trucks our only business. A heritage of trucks that, some say, worked a little harder, lasted a little longer. And that's still true today in a truck that gives you the most standard payload and the strongest resale of any full-size pickup. Sierra, from GMC Truck, more proof of the strength of experience.
Why do sports fans turn to ESPN first? Because baseball is always...
in your face. In your face.
In your face.
ESPN, ESPN, your face.
Back at Sears Point, we are under caution, but nobody taking advantage of the caution period to make a pit stop, although Rusty Wallace will come in because they were unable to get that right front changed on the tire last time. Here's Jerry.
There was a discussion going on between Rusty Wallace and Eddie Dickerson, the crew chief, as to whether they should or should not pit. Rusty really didn't want to pit because it is so tough to pass cars, and you saw how he was driving so possessed a minute ago trying to get through that heavy traffic. But Eddie said, listen, Rusty, we have to have time under caution to work on these right front lug nuts. We can't afford to take a chance of having a green flag stop and losing a lap. So they are going to work on the car. They pulls the car in. They will take time. and change this right front tire and get those lug nuts that had rounded off so they can get right side tires on. They're also being told that Davey Allison will come in and change the fuel filter. We see Wally Dallenbach making his way finally back to pit road. A tough break for Wally Dallenbach. We're continuing on the Miller Genuine Draft Pontiac of Rusty Wallace. Bob?
Thank you, Jerry. We're getting closer to the halfway mark. If you've entered the Gillette Halfway Challenge and you're called at home and can name the driver who won the Gillette Halfway Challenge Award, you'll win a new Chevrolet Lumina Z34. If you want to enter next week's Champion Spark Plug 500 race on June 14th, write to Gillette Halfway Challenge, Post Office Box 2246, St. Petersburg, Florida, 33731-2246. You must be 18 years of age or older to enter, and we must receive your entry by Saturday, June 13th to be eligible for next week's Gillette Halfway Challenge. We're sure that Roger Penske is watching this race. His driver, Rusty Wallace from Detroit after the IndyCar race, will tell you how that event came out after this.
The technology developed on the track for the awesome 650 horsepower Lumina NASCAR champion goes into cars like this. The 1992 twin dual cam V6 Chevy Lumina Z34. Sorry, decals not included. Z34, from the heartbeat of America. The cars more people depend on.
Here we go again, guys. Wow, I feel good. Yeah, this guy really gets around. He's got the auto lights. American Orient Paul, we're guaranteed. I feel good. Yeah, 2 years, no matter how far he goes. That's why we've been everywhere. Vegas. I feel good. Yeah. Daytona. LA. Wherever we're going. Yeah. And we're not even tired.
If you don't like the looks of your car, shoot it with Son of a Gun from STP. Shoot the dash, seats, tires, and roof. Son of a Gun protecting. Man, what a difference.
The NASCAR Racing Circuit. It's no place for the timid. That's why Craftsman tools were chosen, the official tools of NASCAR. Craftsman, made in America, guaranteed forever.
This is where America gets together. Every weekend throughout America, there is great NASCAR racing.
I wouldn't be anywhere else.
The field climbing the hill after just taking the green flag. In resumption of this NASCAR Winston Cup race, Bill Elliott is at the front with Terry Labonte and Ricky Rudd and Mark Martin right behind him. Bill Elliott leading this race as we have completed now 32 laps, and we're nearing the halfway point.
I'll tell you what, Terry Labonte, I keep talking about these guys, they keep having trouble, but I won't have to talk about Labonte because, Bob, he is doing one heck of a job with that Sunoco Oldsmobile. That's a Chevrolet, I guess.
Yeah, he's a good road racer, Ben. You remember he sat on the pole last year at Watkins Glen and won at Riverside. Here he comes trying to move on the inside, but there again, that's Elliott's line coming into 7. He goes in wide, gives him a good run off the turn, see how much he's able to pick up then getting off the turn.
You know, we talk so often about how guys are good road racers, and you mentioned Wallace and Rudd, but really, a lot of these drivers have been very successful and very steady in road course racing. There's the Autolite field summary. Now the 42 car just got by the 3.
And there's trouble up here in turn 8. Dale Jarrett was just trying to move around a car, and he got tagged and spun around, but he's gone. Go ahead, Bob.
All right, the Autolite field summary showing you the entire rundown of the field last lap. I mentioned the IndyCar race in Detroit. That was won by the Miller Genuine Draft Lola, driven by Bobby Rahal. Raul Boisel finished second. Stefan Johansson, driving for Tony Bettenhausen, was third. Michael Andretti fourth, and Danny Sullivan fifth. Michael Andretti had a collision with Paul Tracy, we understand, late in that event. Tracy had performed very, very well in substitute role for Rick Mears, but unfortunately suffered some mechanical problems during that collision and did not finish in the top 5. Now, let's take a look at this situation with Dale Jarrett, Ned.
Well, he was on the inside of that yellow car. Can't make the number out, Bob. And you see the yellow car comes from 51, and he comes back and hits Dale, spins him around, and he takes off, and no major damage, it doesn't look like. That was Rick Tromer. A little bit of debris maybe there on the racetrack. I don't have a caution in this area, though, so apparently.
That was Rick Shribner there in car number 51 that made contact with Dale Jarrett. The field comes through. There's Ernie Irvan and Earnhardt side by side. Alan Kowicki and Sterling Marlin. Now here is Darrell Waltrip. A lot of dust kick up there in your area, Benny.
I'm telling you what, somebody's gotten off the course, but so far they're all coming by me. All the wheels are intact, and all the guys are at least going straight as they go by me. There's Kowicki, and Darrell Waltrip wanting to get by him as bad as he can. Brett Bodine going on the back bumper of Darrell Waltrip. And they're going down towards turn 11 to see if Waltrip can outbreak Kowicki as they go in the corner. Kowicki moves over so he won't be able to do that. But I don't think that worked. I think Darrell still was able to. No, he wasn't. Brett Bodine tried to go on the outside. He couldn't make it either.
Well, they continue in the same order, but a nice little dice for position there in turn 11. And Davey Allison has been black flagged, right, Jerry?
That's right. We mentioned the fuel filler that had been crushed a little earlier when he backed the car in the wall. They are trying to beat it out to keep it from leaking, but apparently when the car was full of fuel after that pit stop a minute ago, it has continued to drip and then leak. So they're going to try to put a patch over it around the margin where it has been bent a little bit to try to stop the leak. They figure once he burns some fuel out, there will be no more leaks. So he brings the Haviland forward to a halt. The current Winston Cup point leader, and they will go try to peel some of the sheet metal away. They have put together a tape patch to try to put a patch around Norman Koshimitsu, who is, of course, the gas man for this Haviland team, as Davey sits very patiently in the pits. He cannot afford to take the time to try to change the entire fuel filler neck. That would cost him a lap, maybe 2 laps, even under caution to get all that work done. So Davey revving the engine. They're working on the fuel filler, but another black flag and a costly stop here for Davey Allison.
He was running in 29th position when he came in for this service, and his worst finish of the year has been at 28th. That was at Bristol. He finished 26th at Martinsville. Other than that, an 11th place finish last week at Dover. He has had all top 5 finishes, including 3 wins, of course, at Daytona, North Wilkesboro, and Talladega. Terry Labonte still very, very close behind the leader of this race, Bill Elliott. In 3rd position is Ricky Rudd. 4th is Mark Martin, and 5th is Kyle Petty. Now here is Labonte trying to get to the inside of Elliott once again, and they may have him this time. They drag. Nope, Elliott holds him off.
Elliott goes in wide, but he gets a real good run off the corner. But unfortunately, one of these days, Williamson's going to dive in there and just kind of root him up out of the groove. He's going to be in big trouble. And these 2 guys, Bob, are pulling away from her pole sitter, Ricky Rudd. Right now, Rudd is closed up on the back bumper after they got so close up in turn 11. But the last couple of laps, that put 5 or 6 car lengths on Rudd.
Fourth and 5th position, Mark Martin and Ernie Irvan. And Ernie has been able to thread his way through the traffic after that early stop-and-go penalty on the very first lap.
That's some good driving and some good hit work, Bob, to get him up there.
I'll tell you what, when you talk about road racing, you just don't mention Ernie Irvan, but I think we're going to have to start mentioning him because he did win at Watkins Glen just last year.
Approaching the halfway point now. Let's see if Bill Elliott is going to be able to hang on to that lead and pick up the $10,000 for winning the Gillette Halfway Challenge. There's a couple of car lengths ahead of Terry Labonte as they once again stand on the brakes and downshift going into turn number 11.
Well, Labonte that time tried to run the same line as Elliott. See that, Bob?
Yep, he went in high, same way as Elliott, came off. Looked like he kept about the same distance, didn't gain, or, well, he might have lost a little bit, I don't know.
And there it is. That is the halfway point. Cross flags being shown by Doyle Ford. And the winner of the Gillette Halfway Challenge is Bill Elliott. Elliott leads at lap number 37, the halfway point of this 300-kilometer race. Boy, we've had a lot of cars go through the picture, haven't we? Back to the number 2 car of Rusty Wallace. He's back in 22nd position. Boy, does he want this race. But unfortunately, a pit stop, which they had difficulty with the right front, has put him way back in the field. The car just ahead of him, number 9, is driven by Bill Schmidt, one of the Winston West competitors. And of course, there's the King just ahead of Schmidt, as Rusty, smokes those tires, making the pass of Schmidt.
Well, he throws that car down into the corner, drives it deep in every corner.
Tries to drive under them. Richard Petty, he comes off turn 6, not able to do it. Man's going to try to outbrake him. He goes in turn 7. Can he do it then?
Well, Richard's going down on the inside. Rusty coming up on the outside. Yeah, he's going to try to move in a little bit, but I don't know. He'll have a good line coming off the turn, but Richard held on and kept the position.
This is the first of the last races for Richard Petty. Now, what do we mean by that? Well, since this is the only time that Richard Petty races here, this is his final performance at Sears Point International. Right now, he's in 19th position. There's Irvan, Kyle Petty, there's the leader. Second place, Terry Labonte.
We've run a couple of laps since I talked about Rudd dropping back, and he stayed on the back bumper of Labonte. So evidently, if he has some kind of a problem, he's adjusted his line, and now his car is fast as either Elliott's or Labonte's. So here comes Martin closing up on the back bumper. Hey, maybe he's the fastest car on the racetrack right now.
He's top 5 running nose to tail out there.
Now, the last time around, Bob, Ernie Irvan made a good run on Mark Martin coming into turn 7. Let's see if he learned anything that he might can do better this time as they come out of the carousel and head up this way. Elliott takes his line way out there. Looks like Ernie's pretty far back this time. Mark Martin runs in on Ricky Rudd coming in there. And Ernie gained a good bit coming in there. He's really getting through this corner great.
Now they come down towards me. That's Mark Martin right inside his cars. He's looking at the back bumper of the pole set of the Tide Chevrolet of Ricky Rudd. They go by. We're looking at telemetry. 123. Now he's braking for turn 10. Now he accelerates down towards turn 11, and he'll get on the brake hard here and go into second gear.
Davey Allison is in the pits again, and he may lose a lap here. Larry McReynolds and the crew look the situation over, but here comes the field out of corner number 11. And indeed, Davey Allison does go a lap down. The defending champion of this race and the current NASCAR Winston Cup points leader sits on pit road. Mark Martin just out of the top 10 in Winston Cup points. And here is Richard Petty, who has spun in turn number 11 as the field comes by and avoids collision with him. King Richard loses positions, but stays on the lead lap. Let's take a look at it again.
Well, he and Bill Schmidt might have gotten together there a little bit, touched, and Richard spins around. Hey, it doesn't take much. You're so near out of control when you go around that turn that just the least little tap can send you on around.
And that's what looks like happened, just a little bit of a tap from Bill Schmidt. Now, folks, that is Harry Mellon's car, the Mellon Performance Automobile that Bill Parsons had driven, Dave Mader driven, and last week was driven by Chad Little. We brought the car here for Bill Schmidt, who's Winston West champion 3 or 4 times, and let him give a shot at the Mellon car.
Yeah, he has quite a bit of experience on the road courses because he does compete regularly in the Winston West Series. There's Elliott continuing to lead the Save Mart Supermarkets 300-kilometer race. We'll show you the top 15 as we go to break. 39 out of 74 laps have been completed.
What makes a mountain man a mountain man? Let's find out. Must a mountain man be a big burly guy with an axe? A man of steel? Must a mountain man even be a man? Actually, the only requirement is the right beer. Smooth bush beer or easy drinking bush light. So, head for the mountains and learn what makes the typical mountain man anything but.
And isn't it true that this auto part did, in fact, come from the defendant's car?
Objection. Prosecution is leading the witness.
Overruled. You may answer the question.
This part most definitely came from that car.
And how can you be sure?
I work for Napa Auto Parts. It's my job to be sure.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Napa people are parts experts, so they can answer any question, whatever the case may be.
June is going to be one hot month on ESPN. June heats up on ESPN.
The drivers listed here are the top 5 in Winston Cup points. On the right, where they're running in this race this afternoon. Allison is 35th, a lap down, and he's still in the pits. Gann is 19th, Earnhardt is 6th, Bill Elliott is 1st, and Alan Kowicki is currently running 10th. Now, if we were to accumulate the points right now, and if the race were to end right now, Davey Allison would still have the points lead, but only by 4.
Can't get much closer than that, can it, Bob?
For sure.
But, of course, this race is not over yet, so there's no telling what will happen between now and then.
Boy, these first 5 cars are just running like they're tied together with a string, aren't they?
I was thinking about that, and these cars are awfully evenly matched. I don't see anyone that just basically has any kind of an advantage. And I mentioned Terry Labonte's car earlier. I mentioned Terry Labonte's car a moment ago. That is an Oldsmobile, Bob.
Rusty Wallace and Tom Kendall are running together out there in our Armor-All in-car camera with Rusty Wallace, 2 definite road course racing experts. Right now, Tom Kendall, although he is running in 15th position, I don't think is up to what he had hoped to perform here this afternoon. And of course, Wallace is trying to move through the field. Rick Mast is in car number 1. He's not doing too bad for a guy that you don't think of as a road course racer.
I think basically Rick Mast said, I don't have any business out here.
There's Rusty moving around. Tommy Kendall, or at least trying to. Ooh! This is high, but he does make it on around.
Yep.
That's a good pass.
By the way, Rick Mast started 35th, so he isn't doing very bad.
Rusty just went by me. He's going down into turn 10. Hits the brakes, now accelerates towards turn 11. Let's see how much time he can make up on Rick Mast as he goes down this corner. 3rd gear, 2nd gear. Lets off the brake, starts accelerating.
And the 60 car has spun again. This is Mike Chase, spun down there by Ned a while ago, and now he's spun and made contact with the tire barrier elsewhere on the racetrack.
Car going forward. It looked like for a moment that he might not be able to get going, but he does. So apparently no caution again.
Meanwhile, Rusty Wallace still hasn't been able to catch Rick Mast. Rick Mast does have a reason to be out here, Bob.
Well, he sure looks like it. He's doing well. This is turn 5 now at the top of the hill, going significantly downhill now. And here is a battle for 2nd position. Look how they've tightened up. Oh, Ernie Irvan's on the outside, but Ricky Rudd is now right with Terry Labonte, and Mark Martin is in this battle also.
And I believe Dale Earnhardt's gaining on that black car in the back of the picture back there. He's gaining a little bit on those front runners, Bob.
I tell you what, it doesn't get much more exciting than this. 5 cars nose to tail. Who has the advantage? No one.
The telemetry again with Mark Martin in It is amazing how they can get up to 123 miles an hour, and then within just a few yards, they're down to below 30.
Now we accelerate off the corner, second gear. There comes the leader, Elliott. And there comes the fifth place car, Ernie Irvan, to go that film Chevrolet. Turn one. Up the hill. Turn two, back to the right. As he accelerated up towards turn three, a left-hander. Look, he started 30 in lap 5, he was 33rd. In lap 43, he's up to 5th spot.
Nice movement toward the front after black flag came down when the green flag came down, because when they got the green flag, Ernie was well out ahead of the pole sitter, Ricky Rudd, and that caused a black flag and the stop-and-go penalty. But Ernie Irvan has not let that bother him. He has fought back and is now right there in the thick of things. He has a good run on Mark Martin. Let's see what happens as they come off of turn number 6 and go down this long straightaway to you, Ned.
Well, he's back in single file now as he comes into this turn. He might try him on the outside coming into this turn, but Martin drives in there pretty deep himself, gets up in the middle of the track, so nowhere for Ernie to go except just forward.
Martin had some kind of problem up in the carousel, turn 6 that time. That's why he pulled Ricky Rudd pulled away from Mark Martin, and that's one reason Ernie Irvan just got so close to Mark Martin. That was spin coming off turn 6. Ron Hornaday is spun, but looks like he's going to get the car going again.
There's Hornaday in the spin you just mentioned, Benny, but yes, he is back under his own power, so no caution. Locking up those brakes headed to turn number 7. Meanwhile, we go back up. Oh, and here's a car spinning off. That's the number 44 machine driven by Jack Sellers. Very slight contact with the tires.
But if he can't get that car fired, Bob, as close as he is to the racetrack, that'll probably mean a caution. We'll check and see. NASCAR is looking. It looks like he has it moving a little bit.
Yeah, he's trying to move away. Now he is.
Yeah.
But can he get it back? The leaders pass by. Yet we'll keep an eye on that situation and see if it develops into a full course caution. Meanwhile, Irvan and Mark Martin continue to battle for that 4th spot.
Looks like Ernie's got a good run on this time, Ned.
Well, he's still behind him coming in there, and he's going to try up on the outside. But Martin is using about the center of the racetrack, and it doesn't give Ernie any options coming in there. Certainly not an option to go on the outside, and so he holds them off.
Well, it sure is interesting, Ned, to watch the various lines in that turn. Everybody's got his own, it seems like.
Yes, Bill Elliott using the highest line of anyone that I've seen. Rusty Wallace using a pretty high line, depending on where he is in traffic. But Mark Martin's running about the center. Ricky Rudd runs down low coming in here. So does Terry Labonte. And Mark Martin, as we said, running about the center. And that's about where Ernie Irvan runs here.
The top 5 continue to run in the same order. It is Elliott, Labonte, Rudd, Martin, and Ernie Irvan. And not too far behind, lurking in 6th position, is Dale Earnhardt. We'll be back with more live coverage in a moment from Sonoma.
If you're a wheelchair user, there's one place you can call to give you a more active, independent lifestyle. By calling Charlton's Mobility Center, you'll be introduced to the Braun Lift-Away Wheelchair Lift, known for smooth operation and dependability. Or if greater access to the passenger area is desired, the Swing-Away Lift is a practical choice. Begin to enjoy all that life has to offer. Call Charlton's Mobility Center at 595-4405.
Announcing Digital Music Express. 30 channels of CD quality music. 24 hours a day. No interruptions, no talk. Just pure CD quality music. Digital Music Express, coming soon through your cable system.
Roberto
Alomar brings one of the hottest bats in baseball to New York against Yankee slugger Danny Tartabull. The Blue Jays meet the Yankees live at 7:30 Eastern on ESPN Monday Night Baseball.
ESPN Speed World today at Sonoma, California. The Save Mart Supermarket 300-kilometer race at Sears Point International Raceway. They're the top 5 as they pass by once again and complete or about to complete another lap. That will be lap number 46, and there is Dale Earnhardt, who is running in 6th position.
I thought for a while he was gaining on those front 5, Bob, but I don't think he is now.
Tell you what, if Dale Earnhardt can get through this race, finish 6th spot with the trouble David Alston, I think he'd go home pick of the day.
He was the winner at Charlotte in the Coca-Cola 600, breaking that Ford winning streak. And then the series went to Dover just last weekend.
And he finished 2nd up there when Harry Gant won the race. Harry ran out of gas on the last lap, and Earnhardt almost won that baby.
That is the reason why he has closed in so significantly in Winston Cup points. Here's the foot cam now from Mark Martin. Look how he lays that left foot underneath his right leg. Now, compare that to Jimmy Hensley. Foot-to-foot action here.
Never see Mark Martin. He's going to upshift, so he'll use the clutch to upshift. He's not using the clutch to downshift. Well, he shifted into 3rd gear as he starts down the S's. Now he'll just play with the gas and the brake pedal as he goes through the S's. He goes by me, nails the gasoline, and shifts into 4th gear.
And look at Hensley using that right foot to brake. His left foot is resting on the clutch. He uses that right foot to brake. And Hensley will be making a pit stop in the Trop Arctic number 66. And John Kernan is right there.
Well, it was a stop-and-go penalty. Jimmy had been in just a few laps earlier as he heads back down pit road right now. He'd had a transmission problem, had to jack the car up and fool around with the linkage to get it unstuck. It was stuck in 3rd gear. Now come down, taking his penalty, stop-and-go, and is back on the racetrack.
31st position. That's where Jimmy Hensley running right now. Phillips 66 in-car camera at work. There's Ken Schrader just ahead in the Kodiak Chevrolet. And he is running in 12th position at the moment. Another Autolite field summary for you. There's the top 5. This is how they were running last lap, and Hensley will probably be shown in the incorrect position because of the pit stop this lap.
Here comes the leaders again. Elliott, Labonte, Rudd, Martin, Ernie Irvan towards Ned.
Still in the same single file position that they've been coming in here every time. Nobody's able to do much with them. Of course, it might not be any reason to take a big chance here at this point of the race, although we're well past the halfway point, but still, they got another pit stop to make, so they don't want to be taking any big chances.
Earnhardt, as we indicated, is running in 6th position and really isn't closing in on Ernie Irvan. In fact, I think maybe
he doesn't want to, Bob. Yeah. Maybe he wants to stay back that far in case a couple of these guys collide. He's got plenty of time to hit the brakes and dodge these fellas, whichever way they go.
Yeah, if he feels the car's working well for him, why he may just want to stay back there for a few more laps.
And there's nobody really pressing him. You see the car number 42 of Kyle Petty back there. And here's Sterling Marlin making a pit stop, perhaps to schedule 1. John Kernan.
Well, I think the fuel pressure just dropped just a little bit. As we had said earlier, if you run out of gas on this racetrack out on the course, you are out of luck. Sterling was going to pit in a few more laps. Mike Beeman said they'd had a fuel pickup problem all weekend long. They thought they had it fixed, but apparently not. They will change 4 tires. They will still need 1 more stop for fuel. So these guys are going to have their fingers crossed that they will get a caution before this race comes to an end. But Sterling is down and away. When the other drivers come in, it'll move him up in the field, but he will need a caution after that happens.
Sterling Marlin has gone through 4 motors this week, 2 practice engines, a qualifying engine, and a race engine. Drove only 1 lap of practice before qualifying that car. position to make the scheduled pit stop. And there are the top 5 once again.
Off of turn 7 and heading out through the S, in the same position, about the same distance apart as the head towards you, Benny.
Looks like a huge snake coming down through those S's. It's a beautiful sight, and guys, when they go down, it is exciting because who's going to win this thing? No one knows.
A clear-cut winner certainly not established at this point. Any one of these 5 and about 5 others have a shot at this thing. John Krebs in the 99 car is the one that Bill Elliott will be passing here in just a moment to put another lap on as we once again have the Ford telemetry in the car of Mark Martin.
Start finish line, 136 miles an hour. He hits the brakes, goes into turn 1, goes up the hill. He's going to shift into 3rd gear and maybe even 2nd gear for this corner. Yep, 2nd gear, turn 2, across the short chute, back up to 3rd gear for turn 3. That's a little left-hander. Now the right-hander's 3A. He'll start down the hill now to turn 4. Meanwhile, we see with his left foot on the brake, his right foot on the gas. He momentarily went to 4th gear, but now is 2nd. Up to 3rd gear as he goes through turn 5, up towards turn 6, over the hill, into the carousel. 3rd gear through here. He'll come off turn 6, accelerating hard as he possibly can, up towards mid and turn 7.
And he gets into 4th gear there just for a little bit, Benny, and then, of course, he'll shift back down. Well, it didn't pick it up, but I'll assure you now he is back in 2nd as most of them get into 2nd gear when they go through this corner.
Speed increases once again through the S's.
Here he comes toward me again. Dump that baby in 4th gear as soon as he goes around that right-hander. There he goes into 4th. Boom, right there. I wish I was doing that, Bob.
Well, they look fun to you, but I'd rather be where I am. Elliott leads Labonte, Rudd, Martin, and Ernie Irvan at Sears Point.
He's waiting about a car length and a half behind Al Jr. Al Jr. now races it out. He's trying to hold him off. Goodyear low, Denver high. They go to 4, Bob Levy.
Allison Jr. has the lead. One more turn to go. Here they come. Coming to the finish line. Bob Jenkins, who's going to win it?
The checkered flag is out. Goodyear makes a move. Little Al wins by just a few tenths of a second. Perhaps the closest finish in the history of the Indianapolis 500.
Oil. It's the lifeblood of your engine. That makes your oil filter your engine's most vital organ. That's why Fram keeps going the extra mile to make the best protection even better. The Fram Extra Guard oil filter. Unique glass fiber paper stops more dirt than any other filter for the best protection ever. Fram Extra Guard. American or import, it's an extra lease on life.
Every summer weekend, millions of the smartest guys in America fire up their Murray mowers. What makes them so smart is that Murray's rated one of the best in quality and performance, with a 2-year warranty backed by 10,000 service dealers, at a price that's about half of other top quality mowers, which makes Murray mowers tough as they come, any way you cut it.
Jenkins, Nat Jarrett, Benny Parsons, John Kernan, Dr. Jerry Punt back to the St. Mark Supermarkets 300 NASCAR Winston Cup race, and here comes Bill Elliott, the leader, in for a pit stop, and second place Ricky Rudd also in. The lap before, while we were in commercial break, Terry Labonte came in for a pit stop. Jerry Punch in Bill Elliott's pit.
And the final scheduled pit stop for the Budweiser Ford driver, Bill Elliott, the leader here at Sears Point Raceway. So we'd expect to see him change at least 2 tires, right side tires. Now that big red Ford comes along, and they will change all 4 tires. Left side lug nuts coming off, clean the windshield. They want to get it very full of fuel. You don't want to take any chances, even though it's got a pretty good window here today. The 5 car, also Ricky Rudd's tied crew, left side tires on the Ricky Rudd car, the Chevrolet of Rudd, the tied machine. Now left side tires going on the Budweiser Ford of Bill Elliott. Left side tires on, Elliott is down and away. And here comes Ricky Rudd on the scramble back back to turn 1. It'll be Elliott, then Rudd, and they head back up the hill.
That should be the final pit stop for these guys. We're now set for the end of the race as 51 laps have been completed.
And we see the black car, Dale Earnhardt, right there behind these guys, so he gained just a little bit on that exchange of pit stop, Bob.
Earnhardt came in when Terry Labonte did while we were away on the commercial break. These two guys will be coming in pretty shortly, I expect.
Mark Martin now the leader of the race, and Ernie Irvan is second, but they will need pit stops before too long. Let's see if they come in next time around.
And I tell you what, you don't want to stay out there as long as you possibly can. You want to stop as quick as you can, because right now, if they can go the rest of the way, if they stop and get 4 tires, the caution flag comes out, they'll stay on the racetrack and keep that track position.
Both of them head for pit road. Jerry, they're headed for you again.
And these two drivers pitting are just about 15 feet apart in the very first and third pits here by virtue of their qualifying order, as the crews now wait for Mark Martin, the Valvoline Ford Thunderbird. The Chevrolet Lumina Kodak colors of Ernie Irvan as they slowly make their way at 35 miles per hour down pit road. This will be the final pit stop. One miscue here could cost either one of these drivers a chance at a win or possibly a top 5 finish. Crews now over the wall going to work. It'll be 4 tires on both of these cars. Fuel can going in. The car number 6, the Valvoline Ford, likewise putting fuel in the Kodak Chevrolet. They change right side tires in the Kodak car, right to the left side. They're already now on the left side of the Martin machine. Pitting just 15 feet apart. It's a race among 2 pit crews. 7 men over the wall. Who will win it? Here is Martin. Here is Irvan. They are steady. Headed back to turn 1.
They were side by side coming out. Martin has the advantage, and there goes Dale Earnhardt separating the two.
And Terry Labonte is the guy that ends up leading after these 5 cars make their pit stop. So a big round of applause for the Labonte pit crew, Bob.
The Billy Hagan-owned Sunoco team looking good here as we've completed 52 out of 74 laps. There's Labonte. He's the leader of the race now.
He may not be the leader of the race. I don't know if all the cars have stopped.
He will be.
The leader of the car, those 5 cars that was leading the race when they started making their pit stop.
Side by side now. Here's Ernie Irvan and Dale Earnhardt. Down there in the carousel.
Yeah, that's a tough place to make a pass. Let's see what they do when they come into turn 7. He might still get him. Coming on the inside, Earnhardt backs off. There's Irvan going in there. And so Irvan has the position.
Boy, Ernie Irvan has to have a well-handling car. There's Labonte, then Elliott, then Rudd, then Martin, Irvan, and Earnhardt.
Here they go right by me. Hello, Ernie. Hello, Dale, as they went by.
Did they see you, Benny, when you waved to him?
I don't think so, Bob. They got other things on their mind. This is the leader, Terry Labonte, going in turn 11. Elliott, Ricky Rudd trying their best to run him down. Mark Martin, Ernie Irvan, and Dale Earnhardt. Now we've got 6 cars almost nose to tail.
Yes, indeed. What was a 5-car race now becomes a 6-car race. Well, the pit stops have been completed now, and we're set for the finish of the race. The 7-car of Alan Kulwicki, which was in the top 10, now comes in. John Kernan, he's right there with you.
Well, Alan is coming in to get just a splash more gas. They pitted a little bit too early, apparently. And, what I mean to say is they were a little bit fast down pit road whenever they came in, so they had to stop and go. And so they went ahead and took a splash of gas just to make sure.
Alan Kulwicki moving back out onto the racetrack and up to speed as Tom Kendall in number 52 passes by. And Terry Labonte now is headed for turn 7.
As he comes in here, right at the center of the racetrack as he comes in. Here's Bill Elliott coming in behind him. Can't see him coming in the picture yet. Labonte is 4 seconds ahead of Bill Elliott right now.
That's a pretty significant lead here. We'll see if Elliott and Rudd and Martin can eat into that advantage that Terry Labonte has here late in the Save Mart Supermarkets 300.
Hey, I like to save money as much as the next guy. But what are the odds that there's going to be a sale on the parts you need when your car breaks down? Babe, it's not going to happen. That's why I go to AutoZone. I mean, sure, you could wait around for a couple weeks and maybe beat their price by a few pennies someplace else. But I don't want to wait for a sale when I need a part. Now, what more could you ask for?
Gillette presents Sensor, the system, the technology that will change the way you shave forever. Sensor, twin blades set on springs to read your face and respond. Independent suspension to sense and adjust to every curve of your face. No other razor comes close. Gillette Sensor, for the best shave a man can get.
Pocono Raceway. It's a little bit of Dixie and the beautiful Pocono Mountains of Pennsylvania. I'm Richard Petty. Why just watch racing on TV when you can be there? Join me and all the stars of Daytona at Pocono twice this year.
June 14th, it's the Champion Spark Plug 500. July 19th, it's the Pocono Summer 500. For the best seats, order now. Call and become eligible to win a trip for two to Charlotte in October. Call 1-800-RACEWAY. Operator standing by. For Pocono vacation information, call 1-800-POCONOS.
Next Sunday at 12:30 Eastern Time, live, we'll be at Pocono International Raceway for the Champion Spark Plug 500, where Darrell Waltrip is the defending champion. Tickets remain available. You better get them quick, though. They'll be gone by next Sunday when we present live coverage of the 13th race of the season in NASCAR Winston Cup competition. The top five here at Sears Point: Labonte, Elliott, Rudd, Martin, and Ernie Irvan with 55 of the 74 laps completed. There is the interval, and here's the battle for second position as Rudd tries to take second from Elliott. They go into turn one side by side. They bump a little bit. Let's see what happens. Now Rudd beginning to take the position away from Elliott, and he does.
Wow, was that a gutsy move by Rudd going on the outside into turn one. Whew.
Watching all of this is Mark Martin, who is in fourth position. Now right behind Bill Elliott as they come down into turn number 6. And now Martin looks to the inside of Elliott. Nope, can't make the pass.
And right behind Mark Martin is Ernie Irvan. He's caught up with this group of cars.
Look, Rudd has pulled away, fellas, once he's got around to Bill Elliott. Was able to pull away a little bit because he's got a ways to go to catch Terry Labonte.
If you're just joining us, Terry Labonte is the leader. We're inside Mark Martin's car, watching the telemetry. He closes right onto the back bumper of Bill Elliott.
I don't know how in the world he's going to pass Elliott on the outside because Elliott goes in higher than the car spun. Did I see a car going the wrong way?
Yeah, there is a car. It looks like the car number 51, Benny, that spun backwards here just off of turn 7.
I thought something looked awful funny. Yeah.
And he's off the track completely now with his nose down sort of in the ditch as he tried to get it going, but he's still moving a little bit. I don't know if he'll be able to get that thing going or not.
It could cause a full course caution, but I believe he's going to get it going. Yep. Now, look, Ernie Irvan here. Mark Martin in third position now. He passes Bill Elliott. Elliott's going from second back to fourth.
He evidently got a set of tires that was not to his liking. I mean, the radial tires, they don't change in size, but evidently something's changed on the car.
So Bill Elliott dropping back here. Now Ernie Irvan is right on Elliott's back bumper, trying to take over the fourth spot. Our Western Auto race recap. Terry Labonte had led 5 of the 56 laps. 3 caution periods for a total of 7 circuits. Not bad at all for Sears Point. 28 cars on the lead lap, 7 leaders and 6 lead changes at an average speed, a record average speed of 79.20 miles an hour. The lap leaders, Rudd, Kulwicki, Wallace, Gant, Elliott, Martin Labonte, all picking up 5 bonus Winston Cup points. Those out of the race, only 3. Greg Sachs, Herschel McGriff, and Irv Hare. Now, the Mechanic of the Year standings. Tim Brewer from Elliott's team is on top by 10 over Tony Glover from Ernie Irvan's team. And look at Irvan and Elliott battling on the racetrack, and Irvan takes over 4th position.
Yeah, he does, very easily coming into the turn. Meanwhile, Terry Labonte has moved away to a 4 7/10 second lead. Remember, about 2 laps ago, he was 4 seconds ahead. He's moving away.
Terry Labonte has won 2 road course races. Most recently at Riverside in 1985.
And he won a Busch Grand National. He won a Busch Grand National race at Watkins Glen last year.
John Kernan has a report from the pit area on Terry Labonte's most recent pit stop.
Bob, actually, I wanted to talk about his 2 most recent pit stops. We always talk about how important the job that these guys do in the pits is just incredibly important because they can make up a lot of valuable time in here. The first pit stop that they did, 18.9 seconds. The last pit stop, 20.8. While some of these other teams were doing pit stops in 22 seconds, they were almost a second faster, and we see where that has put him out in front of the pack with a clear track, and we can see what Terry's able to do.
There are 27 cars on the lead lap, and running in 27th position is right there, Davey Allison. So Terry is about to put Allison a lap down.
Now, the fans will remember, Bob, that we said Davey went a lap down, but see, all the others have pitted since then, so that put him back in the speed lap, but now he is about to go.
Here comes Rudd and Martin Irvan blasting out of this turn number 6. Martin looking to the outside of Rudd.
Yep, trying to take the measure of it. Rudd's been running to the inside on this turn, and it works for it this time as he keeps that position.
Another Autoline field summary. Watch for your favorite driver to see where he was running last lap. Boy, look at these guys, how close they are. Man, oh, Martin is sideways.
Irvan gets by.
Wow, right in front of me. I almost ran, guys.
I thought you were speechless there for a moment. I was wondering why you weren't saying anything.
I was trying to figure out whether to run or stay here.
Martin got the car totally sideways, and that was just what Ernie Irvan was waiting for.
And that's exactly what happened to Davey Allison earlier in the race. He did almost exactly the same thing.
So now Mark Martin is in 4th spot. Bill Elliott is 5th.
Labonte's having all kinds of problems getting by Davey Allison. This could play these other guys' hands. Here we go. Here's what happened to Martin. Martin is coming down through turn 8, 8A, and this is 8B. He makes a right-hander. He gets up on the curb and nails the gas, and whoa! Save it, baby. And Irvan goes by.
And there is Terry Labonte as he tries to put Davey a lap down. Just ahead of Davey is Dave Marcus. Now let's see what he can do here on the straightaway. That slower car is out there, Dave Marcus. Oh, they're 3 wide through there.
Yeah, almost, but Labonte backed off. He said that's not the place to be. Meanwhile, those other guys are gaining on him back there, and he knows it. He needs to get around these 2 cars. He gets around Marcus, but he's been following Allison for a couple of laps, and it just hasn't been able to get around Davey Allison.
Here comes Davey right by me. Here comes 2nd, 3rd, 4th. Ricky Rudd, Ernie Irvan, and Mark Martin.
And 2nd, 3rd, and 4th have definitely been able to close up on Labonte as he's been unable to get around Davey Allison. Here they are in turn 11. Now Irvan looking to the outside of Ricky Rudd.
Trying to get him a good line so he can get some acceleration off the corner. Now Labonte's on the inside of Davey Allison going up in the corner in turn 1. Not where you want to be, is there?
Davey just won't give up. Now he does. Labonte passes him, putting Davey Allison a lap down in 25th position. Oh, and goes around. Davey spins.
And been spinning in front of those other cars, but he catches it before he goes back out on the racetrack.
The Winston Cup points leader having his problems here at Sears Point.
Now that was a tremendous advantage for Labonte because those other drivers had to slow down to make sure they didn't run into Davey. Here comes Allison trying to get back on Labonte, stay in the lead lap. He goes in the corner just a little bit too much, goes around, he can't catch it. Now here comes Rudd and Irvan. They got to hit the brakes because they're afraid that Davey may go back across the racetrack in front of them. So they slow down, big break for Labonte.
Well, let's see. He's coming by here right now, Vinny. He was at one time 4 7/10 seconds here at Rudd, and he's 3 5/10 seconds right now.
And now we may see Terry again stretch out the advantage over 2nd, 3rd, and 4th position. There are your top 5. We'll be right back at Sears Point.
finish in the history of the Indianapolis 500.
Professional service, a friendly face. That's your Big A Pro.
Big A, the sign that keeps your car running right.
Selling a house is no vacation, but that's just what the Walkers got when they sold their house with our ERA office. The ERA Seller Security Plan guaranteed that if we didn't sell their house, ERA would buy it. ERA even agreed to take the risk of selling the house at a loss. But when we sold it for more, the Walkers got the profit. They used the extra money to take a vacation. The ERA Seller Security Plan, just the kind of help you'd expect from a friend. Call 1-800-ERA-SOLD. ERA, first in service.
Inside and out, Sears has your paint needs covered. Pick up weather beater exterior or easy living interior flat finishes. Your choice, only $10.99 a gallon. But hurry, this terrific paint sale ends soon.
Back at Sears Point International Raceway near Sonoma, California, NASCAR Winston Cup Racing. Terry Labonte in car number 94 is the leader of the race. Here is Ernie Irvan, who's locking him up, but he has taken over second position from Ricky Rudd. Rudd is third, Martin is fourth, and in fifth position is Bill Elliott. Now, how did Ernie get second position? This is how he did it.
Going down in turn 4, downhill. He just pulls over, goes in the corner, out brakes, Rudd, gets position. There's not much Ricky can do except back off. But he did at least save the position because Mark Martin had some ideas to follow Ernie Irvan through there. He was not able to do it.
So it's Labonte and Irvan now, first and second, as Martin tries to go to work on Ricky Rudd. We'd like to congratulate Fred Litton of Hollywood, Florida, for correctly naming Bill Elliott as the winner of the Gillette Halfway Challenge. Fred wins a new Chevrolet Lumina Z34 valued at over $18,000. Congratulations to Fred Litton, 57-year-old, what he describes as NASCAR fan forever. And I'm sure he's going to be a NASCAR fan now.
I guarantee he is. Ricky Rudd trying to get by Trickle.
Look at this.
Here we go.
They split the difference with Dick Trickle, and Martin comes out with third.
This is down in turn 4. Here we go in turn 5. Ricky Rudd trying to get back on Martin, but so far he can't do it. Go over the hill down towards turn 6. The carousel. Now they accelerate back up towards 7. Let's see. Coming off 6 now then. Who has more horsepower than this? We'll find out then.
Well, the difference that I believe in the horsepower of those cars, Benny. As they come into turn 6 here, Martin has the advantage. Meanwhile, Rudd's lead is dwindling. He's under 3 seconds now as Ernie Irvan is gaining on him.
Bill Elliott was running second. He has dropped back to fourth, and now Ricky Rudd, who was running second, has dropped back to third position, or rather fourth position. Elliott back to fifth.
There's our fifth-place car, Bill Elliott.
You know, we divide this racetrack into two parts. The technical part, which means a lot of shifting and uphill and downhill and corners, and then the fast part, which is over by Benny, the S's, and up here toward the starting line. Now, in the technical portion, look who's the fastest in our Big A Auto Parts on-track interval. It is Rusty Wallace with 65.1 second lap. Rudd was 65.3 and Labonte 66.6. This was on lap 59. Now compare that to the fast section of the course, where the fastest lap was turned in by Ricky Rudd at 37.7, Labonte at 37.9, and Wallace 38.0, and then the total on the right showing that Rudd had overall the fastest lap when you consider the technical and the fast, and Rusty Wallace with the second fastest lap. So Labonte leads, but isn't necessarily the fastest on the racetrack, at least on lap 59. Ernie Irvan is indeed closing in on Terry Labonte as we watch Bill Elliott here running in fifth spot. One time it appeared as if Bill might be able to win this race, but has dropped back. Now there is Terry Labonte, and Ned, they are getting close.
Yeah, he has gotten down to 1 7/10 seconds. So Ernie Irvan is definitely the fastest car on the racetrack right now.
Well, I tell you what, it's a good thing Ernie got black flagged to begin this race, or we'd have had a terrible show. He would have driven off, huh?
Yeah, you're right about that.
But I'm sure he certainly didn't want to be black flagged and have to fight his way back from the very back of the pack all the way to the front. He's not to the front yet. He's only in second place, but he is gaining on the leader.
Passing Bill Schmidt there in corner number 11. There's Ernie Irvan, second position. Here's Jerry.
Gentlemen, I spoke with Ernie just before he climbed in the car at the beginning of the race, and he was so excited, so pumped up about running this race today. He said, hey, this is the same car we won with at Watkins Glen last August. I feel like we have the best race car here. He obviously was pretty excited when he took the green flag, because they black flagged him for jumping the start. But obviously now, his optimism was well-founded because he's doing very, very well, chasing Terry Labonte. Let's check into Labonte pits for John Curtin.
Jerry, I tell you, Terry Labonte had a big smile on his face when I saw him in the garage area this morning. The reason for it, they felt they had a really great shot at winning this race also. This is a brand new car that was built especially for Sears Point. Pete Wright says that they didn't want to mess up the Watkins Glen car, so they built this car especially for this racetrack. That, along with some fast pit work, has put him out front, giving Terry a chance to win the race. So I guess it looks like it's going to come down to driver skill maybe right now.
There have been many streaks in NASCAR Winston Cup racing, the Ford streak, the Elliott streak, and for the first 8 races of the year, Terry Labonte had a streak going and turning in consecutive top 10 finishes. That streak was broken at Talladega, 36th, but he has since registered another top 10 finish at Charlotte and now stands a very good chance of winning this race. But look at Ernie Irvan close in, and he is really closing in on Terry Labonte. Back with more live action in a moment from Sears Point International Raceway in California.
Look for the sign.
Professional service.
The red, blue, and white.
A friendly face.
It's a good sign.
Your Big A Pro.
Keeps your car running right.
Nice to know he uses top quality Big A parts.
Big A. The sign that keeps your car running right.
Someone to depend on when you need to depend on your car.
What is a hit?
If it's on VH1, it's a hit.
VH1. The greatest hits of music video.
What is a hit?
Trail of broken hearts. How can we be lovers if we can't be friends?
If it's on VH1, it's a hit.
VH1. The greatest hits of music video.
You know, my grandmama told me, if you eat the seed of a watermelon, the vines grow right out your ears. I don't thought that's true, no. But I tell you what is the truth. If you want a fine, comfortable Ford automobile or truck, there's no better place to buy one than Thompson Ford in Hampton. Wonder how long it take them vines to grow, huh?
Way, I think that's 2 questions I get the most, and I can't answer either question because I don't know how I hit, and I don't ever go close to a scale because I don't want to know.
It remains the same. Terry Labonte leading, but Ernie Irvan is just all over him. For the past full lap and a half, Ernie has been knocking on the door. Pulled even with him at one point last lap, but still Labonte holds off Irvan's challenge.
The door being the back bumper. That's what he's been beating on, trying to get by. It would be different. You wouldn't think you'd be able to pass over this part of the racetrack as we go around the right-hander turn 2. But I don't know. Ernie just sitting there waiting for Labonte to just spin the tires one time. If he does, he'll get by.
Let's take a quick look at where the top 5 in Winston Cup points are running. Allison, 29. Gantz, 17. Earnhardt is 6th. Elliott back to 5th. And Alan Kowicki, 5th in Winston Cup points, is running in 16th position at the moment. Ernie Irvan is trying to become the driver to win 2 consecutive road course races. He won last August at Watkins Glen. Now trying to make it 2 wins in a row on the road course here at Sears Point.
Once again, accelerated up towards Ned. What about this time?
Well, I don't know. He's going to try to look on the outside of the Labonte going low. Now Ernie dips down to the inside. Don't believe he's going to be able to do anything with him. Now remember, fellas, Ernie came from almost 5 seconds behind and ran him down, but catching somebody and passing him.
Here they come by me. Labonte makes that right-hander, goes by, drops in the 4th gear. Ernie goes by 4th gear. They go down towards turn 10. Break. Now accelerating towards turn 11. Got to get through this corner good so that Ernie doesn't beat him down to turn 11. Let's see. Who got him, Bob?
Not yet. Labonte still holds a lead. As 66 laps are about to be completed, less than 10 to go.
Don't you know Ernie Irvan would love to win here? Grew up racing around here. Went down to his home track Friday night. They said they had about 5,000 people wanting autographs. Look here, here's Ted Musgrave. What's his slow cars going to do to these guys?
Musgrave.
Here goes Ernie, 3 abreast.
Uh-oh, look out. Uh-oh, Ernie. Nope. Oh, he has to lock him up. Can't take the lead away.
That was a great move. Ernie Irvan really did lock him up there, but he kept from having he and Labonte both wrecked.
You got to be very careful not to slide that tire too much. You get a flat spot. The car start vibrating.
That 55 Ted Musgrave, 22nd position, goes a lap down. 21 cars now on the lead lap.
Once again, Ernie takes that high line, doesn't he, Ned?
Yeah, he takes that. He starts in that way, and then he gets down to the low side, but it's awfully tough to get a bite coming off of that turn. Labonte was a little bit higher, and he got about 2 or 3 car lengths coming off that turn.
Here they come towards me. Makes that right-hander coming directly at me. Everything looks fine. Drops in high gear. Ernie in high gear. No advantage as it go by me this time.
Ramfield summary. There's Tom Kennel running 15th. We talked to him, of course, before the race. He was very optimistic, but things haven't gone very well for him. Look out. He's got him on the inside, I believe, this time. Yes, Irvan has a lead.
Whoa! From the back to the front.
Ernie Irvan black flagged at the beginning of the race because he jumped the start, came in for a stop-and-go penalty, went to the rear of the field, and now, with a little over 5 laps to go, has the lead from Terry Labonte.
Labonte didn't want to let go. Let's see, can he hang on in the hope that Ernie Irvan will make a slip he can be able to get by, or a slower car, some slow driving getting Ernie's way.
And there's some right in front of him.
Last time Ernie Irvan won was on the road course at Watkins Glen. He hasn't won so far this year. Here is how he did it as they came into turn 11.
Just outbraked him coming into that turn. Labonte taking the high line as he's been taking most of the day, and Irvan ran down on the inside of him, made the car stick. And as he came off of the turn, he accelerated a little bit quicker than Terry was able to and took the lead.
Let's go to Jerry Punch, who's in the Kodak pits.
Well, one young man who's all smiles and talking to his driver right now is Tony Glover, the crew chief for the Kodak Chevrolet. Tony Glover has been named Western Auto Mechanic of the race, and rightfully so. What a job that you guys have done, Tony, putting this car together. Congratulations on being named Mechanic of the race.
Well, I tell you, I really appreciate that. And I tell you, Ernie's done a terrific job, you know, coming from the back to the front. And, you know, if luck will hold with us for about 5 or 6 more laps, I think we'll be okay.
Ernie Irvan will let him go talk to his driver. That's Tony Glover, the Western Auto Mechanic of the race. They are talking to Ernie every time by. They're standing here watching him come out of the carousel. When he comes out of the carousel, they can hear him and they can see him so they can communicate. So we won't bother him anymore. He's watching his driver trying to pick up his first win of the 1992 season.
The 09 car has spun. That's R.K. Smith.
And the leaders are coming up, Bob, but he's off the track. They're coming up on Richard Petty and Jimmy Hensley. Hensley in the Ford number 66. He's going to move out of the way and let Ernie go. He won't hold anybody up. They don't call him the Virginia gentleman because he's a super nice guy, good race driver, too.
And we're riding with Jimmy Hensley, the Phillips 66 in-car camera. There's Ernie Irvan and Labonte just ahead of him.
Labonte's still only a couple of car lengths behind Ernie. If Ernie should slip, getting on the shoulder a little bit too hard, hit the brakes a little bit too hard going on these corners, Labonte's there to capitalize on a slip.
Winston Cup points. He's only had 3 top 10 finishes this year. His best finish was at Charlotte as second. He also finished 4th at Dover and 5th at Talladega. Back with more right after this from Sonoma.
When Darrell Waltrip needs tires, he needs the right tires, and he needs them fast.
And when you need tires, see the tire team at Western Auto. We've got major brands and over 26 tire lines to fit your car, van, or light truck. Right, Junior?
Right, DW.
And we got the right price, backed by our low price guarantee. Right, Bobby?
Right, DW. If you find the same tire advertised somewhere else for less, they'll refund the difference plus another 25%.
That's why I take our car to Western Auto. Right, Dad?
Wrong, DW.
Stevie takes your car to Western.